Hello, my name is Dr. Caldwell. I want to start by thanking you for giving our office the opportunity to potentially help you with your healthcare needs. Before we get started today, I wanted to go over a few quick informational tips about really what chiropractic is, what it is that we're looking for, especially with your exam today. So first thing I want to review with you is just some simple anatomy of the spine. You've got 24 different movable vertebrae within the typical human spine. That helps you and allows you to bend, twist, and move and do anything from exercising, playing sports, doing the things that you like to do. Unfortunately, from birth till now, about every week to 2 weeks, one of those 24 vertebrae has been slightly moving out of position, out of place, getting fixed into positions we don't want it to. So as just like the alignment of a car, when you buy a brand new car, within a few weeks to a few months, gradually the alignment starts to change. Now the problem with the human spine is the more out of alignment you are, the faster your spine is going to degenerate. So think of spinal degeneration kind of like tooth decay. Now on your left, you're going to see what a normal healthy vertebrae looks like. And if you notice, the discs are nice and thick. Where the nerves come out, there's a lot of space for that. The spinal cord's got a lot of space. That's what we typically want to see. As years goes on, roughly within 10 years, you're going to graduate into what's called phase 1. Everybody walking planet Earth that's underneath gravity, their spine is going to degenerate. It's just going to degenerate at different speeds and different rates based on how out of alignment it is, how much physical trauma you've had, whether you've been in car accidents, played physical sports, whatever types of traumas have accumulated throughout your life. But I want you to notice how the disc spacing starts to decrease in phase 1. The fluid in the disc is still where it needs to be, but now we're having less space for the nerves and more pressure on the nerves. Now something that's interesting to understand is that 90% of misalignments of your spine are not painful because only 10% of the spinal nerve fibers actually feel pain. So majority of misalignments are what we call subluxations. That's the technical term for a misalignment of the spine. Majority of those are not painful, kind of like a cavity in a tooth that you weren't aware of until you went to the dentist and they actually found it on an x-ray. So just because it doesn't hurt doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Now as you move into a phase 2, now you're starting to not only see compression of the disc, which you notice here, but you're also starting to see bulging of the disc itself. Because think of the disc like a jelly donut. Firm on the outside, gel on the inside. As you squeeze, if you took a jelly donut and squeezed it with your hands, the fluid's going to start to bulge out, which is the same that we see with the disc. Now, as it progresses even further, hopefully this can be seen on the model, the bones themselves are going to start growing bone spurs. It's kind of like, imagine your spine was a column supporting a bridge, and as it starts to buckle, caltrans would come out and add more cement. Your body will do the same thing, but it will add more calcium or more bone. The problem of which is it's going to limit how well your spine can move, bend, and flex. Now, the most significant role or job that the spine has is to protect the spinal cord, because you have one brain that sits here and controls everything you feel, everything you do, and that becomes a spinal cord, from the brain to the spinal cord, and the spinal cord goes right through the middle of the bones of the spine. Believe it or not, the brain and the spinal cord are the only two parts of your body fully encased and protected by bone. Even the vital organs are relatively exposed. And that's because of how delicate they are. And then the spinal cord branches into 31 different spinal nerves. So imagine dividing your body into 31 different sections. And if you had compression or a misalignment pinching into one of those nerves, it's essentially affecting 1/31 of your entire body. Now, our job today is to determine if the issues you're coming in with are related to problems with your spine, if there's any disc damage, if there's any nerve damage, if there's any arthritis in the spine, because again, it can exist there for a long period of time before there are symptoms. So unfortunately, if you came in today and you've had issues for maybe a few months, that problem more than likely started several months before you actually started to feel it. So I use dental analogy a lot, but imagine if your tooth started to hurt today, you went into your dentist today and they found a cavity. Obviously the cavity didn't start to develop today. It has been growing for some time now. So the test we're going to run on you today, it's not going to take us a long amount of time. First, an assistant of mine will come in to discuss exactly what your issues are, how long they've been there, how significant they have been to you, what effect they've had on your daily life, whether it's limiting your ability to exercise, lift your kids, do whatever it is that you like to do. And then we're going to run some x-rays that will specifically tell us exactly how in or out of alignment your spine is, if there's any level of degeneration, whether or not you're in a phase 1, 2, or 3. It's also going to tell us, how much traumas you've been through. All of those things will contribute to figuring out what is the cause of the issue and can we help you with that cause? Can we rectify that, or is it at a point where we need more medical intervention? The other thing we're going to do is what we call nerve scans. So the nerve scans are going to tell me how much inflammation you have in your spine and also how much muscle tension and stress you have in the spine, as well as how well are the nerves communicating to your organs, to your tissues, to your body, because that will give us an idea of how healthy your nervous system is. Because again, that's going to be the brain, the spinal cord, and the nerves controlling all the different parts of your body. Now, the last thing, or within that series, I myself or Dr. Dave will come in and we'll do the orthopedic portion of that examination, where we'll literally feel and put you through a few different movements to find out exactly how the tissue is moving or feeling. Is there a lot of scar tissue? Because the summation of all of that will give us exactly what we need to find out, number one, are you in the right place? Can we actually help you? Because until we've had time to evaluate this, we really don't know that yet. And then number two, how severe is the condition? So after we've taken you through the next few tests we're going to take you through, I, myself, and Dr. Dave are going to need some time to evaluate the results before we can determine whether or not you're in the right place you should be. And then what we'll do after this is we're going to have you come back once more, and then we're going to go over all of the results very thoroughly with you together, because we got to rule out and make sure that this is even something that chiropractic is suited for, that there's no contraindications. Granted, it's very minimal, but we have to rule out the likelihood of stress fractures, tumors, underlying medical issues that it wouldn't be beneficial for us to try to push into or aggravate. So we appreciate your time and your patience, and we really appreciate you giving us the opportunity to help you. And my assistant will be in very shortly to start the whole process with you. Thank you again, and we'll see you in a few minutes.